Our Executive Director, Dr. K. Shyam Umasankar, MPRGI, to give the presidential address.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends, first of all, it's a great pleasure to welcome you for the International Conference on Emerging Trends and Challenges in Arts for the year 2019, right? So, I'm very happy to see a lot of delegates from Tamil Nadu as well as from other countries also. And it's really a great honor for us to receive you all on this beautiful day. And I'm very sure this international conference will create a good platform for learning and networking, and at the same time, very sure that everyone will have a good takeaway for the day today. Because Professor Murali Raman sir from university, he has come all the way from Malaysia just to not only to come and give the importance of research and development, and the main objective is to create a fire in every teaching fraternity to come up in their life. That is the main objective of this particular conference, and I need all of you to give a strong applause to Professor Murali Raman sir for coming all the way from Malaysia and to making this conference a grand success. And secondly, I need to thank Mr. Ainson Amatraj. He is a country head of MIDAS safety, and he is having around close to 14 plus years of experience in human resource. Any conference, if we are planning, we plan for one academic person and one person from corporate industry, so that the delegates will have a good takeaway in terms of what exactly the academics need, what exactly the industry needs. So based on that, if you are doing your research, ultimately you can deliver the best to your students. We professors are having a lot of responsibility to create a better society. Other than any professions in the world, I'm very sure about it. Only we professors are having a strong responsibility to develop our society, because what we are giving to our students, that will be reflected in the society. Correct? If a professor is coming with well dressed, right? If you're going for a class, for example, today afternoon, if you're going for a class, you need to refresh yourself, you need to go with full confidence, you need to prepare well, and you need to go, the duration of the class is 60 minutes, right? And if you are giving 250 reliable information to your students, ultimately you don't worry about the results. Ultimately it will come, because ultimately our students will get inspired. The teaching methodology, everyone should prove the uniqueness. The professor should come up with their own uniqueness, and they need to draft a clear teaching pedagogy. That will create a better system, I believe. Today, for a professional development of a teacher is continuous learning. Learning plays an important role. We have a brief discussion with Einstein. Since we are friends, we used to roam together, and sometimes we used to cuddle each other with fights, right? And but after some 10 to 15 years, if we are meeting today, I'm so happy that we learned a lot of things in our cabin, and at the same time, drastically the transformation has come up. So that's what we discussed. The same way, today you are attending the conference in 2019, this is January 31st. But in December 31st of 2019, what you will be, you need to have a prediction. What is the achievement you did? How many publications you published? How many national conferences you attended? See, today a bridge conference is going on, ICT Academy, Chennai, in Lee Meridian. Everyone knows about it. Who is the chief guest? Shankar, Director Shankar. How? Being a mechanical engineering graduate, he is excelling in the film industry. You know how? Because of the deep learning, because of the deep research. See, research plays an important role for any successful profession. If you want to excel in your profession, you need to do a lot of research. You need to learn something. If you are a CEO of an organization, minimum 60 books you need to read. You need to read every year, because good readers are always good leaders. That reading, keeping your reading and keeping full of reading, and if you are keeping yourself within you, there is no use in it. You need to give it to your students. You need to give it to your professors. You need to give it to your co-workers. Once the knowledge gets over, ultimately you start giving it. Whatever it is, whether it is knowledge, whether it is money, whether it is wealth, if you are getting too much of wealth, ultimately you need to give it. So that is the cycle we need to do. So better, if we all know that this is our teaching profession. Another 20 years we will be in teaching industry. So what is the only objective is we need to excel and we need to come up in life. For that, the basic thing is your research. Today, teaching pedagogy has totally changed. Correct? So 10 or 15 years before, there was no, we used to learn during our MBA graduation, OHP was there, right? Some of you may be knowing about it, but today, no OHP, LCD. The class, in total number of classes is this much of hours, this much of LCD presentation, because we are adopting change. Why? Who has bring that system? First of all, we need to learn something. We need to give something different to the student. If you are giving good information to the student, if you are really good, if a professor is good, if he is dressed well, if he is performing extremely good, if you are growing up successfully, if you are growing up financially, ultimately your student will also perform, because the student will see his father and parent only for a few hours in his home, but he will see his class, and if he's focusedly seeing one particular professor, if he's taking good class, means ultimately he'll get inspired. That is a success of it. That is a success of teacher. Research plays an important role. Yes, there are 3 types of research. There are many PhDs there, MPhil is there, and we have good experienced professor, and everyone knows that 3 types of research. What are the research? Is that bookish research, correct? And second is your book research, and second is your imagination research, another one is your memory research. Book research is nothing but too much of reading. If you're reading at least 1 hour every day, ultimately you can find and study with the new facts and figures. That is called as a bookish research. Imaginative research is like creating your own fictional character. Correct? That avatar and all these things are coming. The same way, memory research. Memory research is the research which comes from your own experience. Based on the experience, I found this output. For example, a lot of entrepreneurs do, right? So this type of research, you need to segregate what type of research you are. So based on that research, you need to go ahead with that. You will get at least one idea. If particular thing, if you are doing one research in one particular area, you will get at least one idea. With that idea, you need to go ahead with that, right? So, my dear professors, coming to international conference is not only to get network with different type of professors from various institutions. That's not at all a matter. Even if you create a Facebook ID, you can get connected with a lot of universities in and around India, and you can know what are all the things which is happening in that particular college, what are all the innovative things which is happening in that particular college. You can easily understand. But apart from that, you need to understand there is a great platform for learning. How this person, sir, has told that 85 plus international journal, how he has published 85 plus international journal, that you need to think it. Then you need to work on it. By this 6 months, you need to show some positive development in your career. You need to show some positive development in your home. If any person is showing any positive development in the society, in home, in his career, I really sure in 5 years from now, he will be in a fantastic position, financially, personally, happily, all the things. But many people are not doing it. You need to set up a plan, because we professors, if you're not planning properly, how come we can expect our students to plan properly? Yes? If we are not planning well, ultimately our students will be like that. If your planning is perfect, accurate, and everything is correct, ultimately our students will perform. So that is the simple thing we need to know. You all know that VIT college, that's what we discussed with Einstein today morning. Vellore Institute of Technology is considered as a top, that university has named as a top 200 universities in the world. Everyone agrees? But you know what is the current focus? They need their Vellore Institute of Technology to get placed in the top 100 universities in the world. For that, the chancellor of that university is visiting frequently to the states for the last 3 months. Almost 72 to 75 times he has visited to the states. What are all the new certification which is coming up? What are all the innovation learning we can execute in our college so that we can make our college to get placed before top 100 universities in the world? What are all the things to be done strategically? What are all the things we need to execute? What exactly the student expects from an institution? What exactly the parent expects from the institution? See, as a chancellor, he didn't think about how to frame a timetable, how to push admissions, how to take care of the professors, how to improve the human resource development of our college. No, as a chancellor, he is taking in a bird view. He needs to make his institution in such a way. Like that, if every professor is thinking like that, and if any professor is acting like that, ultimately you can come in the limelight. See, that the purpose of our teaching industry is not like the person who is talking, and he is not executing anything. That is waste. All your thoughts make your words, all your words into actions. If you are properly executing it, ultimately you can become the biggest one. For example, we can see the drastic change in IIT teaching methodology. If you go to IIT, the professor will take class only 3 hours a week. Can you believe it? 3 hours a week. It's very easy, we can think. But for the 3 hours, for every 1 hour, 15 hours you need to give preparation. He needs to show some idea, he needs to show some video, he needs to show some practical live examples, he needs to give the subject content, he needs to give the material for the students. Why not? He needs to set up a seating plan for the students. The weaker student should sit here and the stronger student should be there. Average student, he should be here, including the seating chart he will submit. Once that gets approved, then only he can go and sit the class. See the teaching pedagogy. How is it possible? Why can't we execute in our college? If we are executing this in our college, for this type of learning only, this international conference or your national conference is very, very important. Make use of this. And why we are bringing university, why we are bringing professors from abroad, international conference, why we need to bring conference from abroad? There the difference lies between our country education system and their country education system, so that we can map easily. So what all the good things is there, we can execute it in our college. What all the good things is there, he can also give a suggestion to their college. So win-win situation, we can also grow, they can also grow. So in later stage, if we are working together, ultimately we can join together and grow together. That is the only thing. Learning plays an important role. Now funding proposal is open. Right? Teach India funding proposal is open, and DST has called for papers for funding proposal on waste management. We need to, as a professor, at least 1 hour daily, if you are focusedly working on research. At least 1 hour, if you are working focusedly on our individual development, ultimately you can achieve your goal. It's very easy to come up in life. It's very, very easy. It's very easy to earn billions of money, right? It's very, very easy. Only thing is you need to program your heart and you need to make your mind in control. If these two things are really okay, and if it is properly aligned, if you're working like this, ultimately you can achieve whatever beyond your expectation. Right? So as a professor, don't think that I need to only a small house. No. I need to only a simple car. I should not drown with the EMIs. Right? You should not think in such a way. Better dream it in a bigger way. What are the things you are dreaming in a bigger way, ultimately you can give it to your students in a better way. Ultimately they can learn a lot and they'll be like that. We doesn't know a student sitting in the last bench will be a politician or will be a vice president or will be a, right? Because they know the people management skill. We doesn't know a person who is sitting in the first range, there will be a professor, correct? There will be a professor. We can't justify any student. But as a teacher, if we go inside the class, we should not segregate our students. If we are segregating it, there the downfall starts for the teacher. All our students are, you perform, you super, you very position, you vice president, you CEO. If you are positively praising your students, don't worry about your results. Ultimately, the results will come. You will be 100% pakka. You will deliver the best result when compared to other co-workers, because you are creating the first positivity vibe in your place where you are going. If you are creating a positivity vibe, ultimately your students will perform well. You can also perform well. If everyone is performing well, ultimately the institution will flourish with brilliance. So this is the secret. Only thing is you need to perform well. All this international conferences, like not only our college conference, all colleges are also doing international conference. The objective of any international conference is just to network with positive people, one. And second thing is just to get connected with the guests who are all coming, two. And third thing is, I learned from this conference an important thing which is useful for my entire life. If this subjective, if you are coming for this conference, you can have a good takeaway, right? So these are all the things I need to tell. My dear professors, it's really great pleasure to have you here, and at the same time, we look forward to mutual relationship and all that is to come. And I need to thank Dr. Sini Syed. I can see the WhatsApp conversations. It was very busy for the last 15 to 20 days. I'm so happy because it's very time frame. Previously, it was like the numbers were very low, but at this moment, we got a good numbers of papers. So my dear professors, don't publish the paper and sit idle. Publish the paper, get one positive idea, go with that positive idea. go well, perform well, be happy. These are all the three things you need to have. So I wish you all the very best. I am very sure today it's a day full of opportunities. First our professor will give a presentation, and next our Einstein will give the presentation, and individual presentation time is there. You can learn something from your reviewer. I also welcome the reviewers from other college institutions also. I wish you all a productive and productive learning, and I wish you all to make this day so memorable. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your invaluable speech.